Welcome to a new episode. In today's episode, we're shipping the rover. Now, first thing I'm going to do in this episode is I'm going to get dinner because I'm actually about halfway to my overnight stop and it's quite late. I've got so little time, I basically had to leave work immediately and bomb it down south to Southampton to the docks. So yeah, I'm going to get dinner and then we'll hit the road again.
While I'm getting dinner at a service station, let's roll the clock back 72 hours where you find me doing the final job needed to finish the car, the paint job.
Now, our race series encourages us to come up with a theme. That means painting the car and for all team members to be dressed up in costumes for the weekend. Those of you who may have had an idea what we're up to, that's probably just confirmed it. By the time this video goes live as well, my teammates will probably let slip what's happened and also the race results come out. Those of you that don't know, well, I'm going to let you keep guessing. I am not the best at artwork, and I'm going to be honest, I hate painting stuff. Fortunately for me though, I gave a brief to the marketing design guy at work, Lee, and he came up with a sketch, which I basically now need to follow and paint various bits of the car. He's gone off and had a load of stickers made up, and he's got some vinyl tape and things that he's going to do. So for now, I'm going to get this masked and paint what I need. The other good thing is I don't need to paint the entire vehicle. I've only got little bits of it. And because this is very much a budget race car, everything is going to be done with a rattle bomb.
The art of any good paint job, rattle can or otherwise, is in your prep, and as much as I hate painting stuff, I didn't want the paint to just flake off the car, so I did take some time to prepare the surfaces properly. While it might sound a little counterintuitive, the first thing I did was take a bottle of Tea-Cut to the area I was going to clean to help remove any road debris and other stuff that had embedded itself into the paintwork. Additionally, during the week leading up to this, my dad had stopped by and given the car a general clean, paying particular attention to the door jambs and the scuttle area. As well as needing the car cleaned for paint, it also needed to be clean in order to ship it. Next, I gave the panel a wipe down with some prep sol to try and remove any contaminants that may react with the spray paint. After that, I started to lay out the design for the first colour that needed to be applied. This involved me painting a band of colour around each wheel arch. As I said, I'm not the greatest artist, and while I am sure many of you could do this by freehand, I made myself a guide out of a piece of cardboard that allowed me to evenly place pencil marks around each arch. I then used some pinstriping tape to join up all the marks and give me a smooth curve that followed the original arch. With a pinstripe tape applied, I then used regular masking tape, newspaper and a black bin bag to mask up the rest of the wheel arch and the wheel. With everything masked up, I then scuffed up the area to be painted using some 1000 grit sandpaper. This was done so that the spray paint would have something to key into. After sanding, I gave the panel a wipe down once again with some prep sol. I then gave the area to be painted a wipe down with a tack rag to remove any remaining debris that might have fallen onto it.
Colour of choice, real orange. Because here at the Project Peddlers headquarters, we don't deal with any of that fake.
with one arch done, I've just got to now do the other 3.
The following day, with all the arches painted, I set about masking up the rest of the car. This started with me masking up the roof bonnet and boot lid. In an attempt to keep the temperatures down inside the car while we raced it, I elected to keep them all white. Lee had incorporated this into the design, which also massively helped me in reducing the amount I had to paint. As you can see, my dad came over again and finished cleaning the car as well as helping me mask it up.
Well, just a quick update. I've been battling on and off rain showers all day. It's taking me, well, basically a couple of hours now to get this all designed and masked up. I haven't got the other side done. Unfortunately, I'm really badly running out of masking tape, so I don't know if that's going to happen today. Today really is the last full day I've got to work on it. I've got tomorrow evening that's got to go on the trailer, and then Wednesday night it is going to the docks. My dad is off tomorrow. I might be able to get him to do this. And my graphics guy is coming in to do stickers, which really needed a car fully painted. I got the driver's side done though, because there's some mandatory stickers that go on this side. But if you can't tell what it is, you're just going to have to wait, until the end of the episode. Well, I've just hit it with a can of black. I'm hoping that my masking is up to scratch. As I said, this is only the driver's side that I've had a chance to do. I'm going to start masking up the passenger side, but I don't think I've got enough masking tape to do it. So that might be a job that I have to leave for my dad. At least with the driver's side done, as I say, I can get some stickers on. My graphics guy can come in and at least do some of them. While he's doing that, I can be getting on the other side. We might have a very, very small window Wednesday to do a little bit of stickering up and a few little final niggly jobs. But yeah, the bulk of the work has got to be done basically by, well, in theory Wednesday morning when I leave the trailer, but I need sleep, so I can't work through the night. Tonight, though, I think is going to be a late one.
Now, I will be completely honest with you here, filming kind of went out the window. I had less than 36 hours before the car had to be loaded onto a trailer, and I still had quite a bit to do, as well as having to be in work the following day. I did work late and got as many things done as possible, including masking up as much of the other side as I could, until I eventually ran out of tape. My dad came over the following day while I was in work and finished up painting the other side of the car, which unfortunately he didn't film, so we will skip forward to the final morning when it had to be loaded onto a trailer.
Well, apologies, I haven't really filmed much in the last couple of days because it's just been an absolute mad rush to try and get this thing done. Yeah, you can see that's the paint job. It's not quite finished. It's actually going to get stickered up a bit later by guy at work. But basically now I've got to get this on a trailer, and then I've got to take it with me to work because where I work is a bit closer to motorway and a bit further south. So it's kind of pointless coming back, and the time it's going to take me to get down there makes sense. But yeah, blowed the cooling system a little bit more all this morning. Got a bit of air out. The heater runs hot as well, which is always a good sign on these. Fans don't kick in, but temperature gauge gets up to temp and just sits there. You see, I've got door numbers. The one's on the other side. Got the roof one. Got them all wired in, so they all work off the switches inside. Yeah, didn't get absolutely everything I wanted to do done on this before it left the country, but everything I had to get done in order to ship it and to make it race compliant, it's been done. So yeah, I'd say the only thing was like say USB sockets in the rear, which is so I can run some cameras so you can watch the race. But that's something I can do in the pit. So but yeah, that's it. Right, onto a trailer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Team Project Peddlers, the engineering equivalent to Drug Pushers race car, the Lunar Rover 400.
Well, I can't say it was the best dinner in the world, it was Burger King, but anyway, with me fed, we can now hit the road again, and I've probably got about another 2 hours to family members where I'm stopping for the night, which gets me pretty close to the port of Southampton. I think it's a case of set the GoPro running on the dash and cue the music.
So I finally arrived at family members. I'm not going to show you where they live because I don't want people bothering them, and it's pretty late and I've got young kids. So we are going to pick this up in the morning.
Morning! Last night I stopped at cousins of mine here. It was very nice. I actually got in bed before midnight, which is about the first time in a week, so I've had some sleep. I feel pretty good compared to the last few days. We've got about an hour to get to Southampton. It says about 40 minutes on Google, but with the trailer, obviously I'm going to be slower. There's a whole procedure to go through. I have to wear high vis. Having that on in the videos at the minute. There's a couple of little jobs actually I need to do on the car. I discovered on the way down that one of the light panels, one of the bolts was rattling a bit loose, and I also want to try and nip up the sump flip a little bit because that tiny little leak. I think it needs probably a new copper washer, but I'm not going to have a chance to do that before I have to drop it off. I don't have a specific time, but it does have to be today, and it does ideally need to be sometime in the morning. So yeah, I'm going to get those 2 little jobs done, and then we can hit the road again.
With those couple of small jobs done, I once again hit the road to the port.
So I'm going to have to make this quick, but I've arrived at the port. It's basically been told to get the trailer off, get the car off the trailer, back up in a particular area. So yeah, I'm going to try and chuck a GoPro in and film unloading it and getting it to the place. I may have to stop recording though, because I don't see any signs of saying no recording, but I know ports previously done it.
While I unload the car off the trailer, let me explain a bit about the shipping process. Now this will change a bit depending on where you are shipping your car from, where you are shipping your car to, and what you are shipping, but this is the process that I went through. First of all, you have to find yourself a shipping broker. There are websites online that will help you find one where you fill in your details, and then various companies who can ship your car will get in touch with you. My advice, don't just go with the cheapest. When they phone you, or if they don't, phone them and have a conversation with them, as they may be able to better advise you regarding shipping your car. The company I used was the second cheapest out of all that quoted me for the shipping. However, my shipping agent Mark was incredibly helpful and prevented me from missing my ship, which would have been a very expensive mistake. Due to the modifications made to our car, namely the fire suppression system, not all freight liners wanted to take our car. Combine this with that Donald Trump putting tariffs on everything. At the time my car had to be shipped, a lot of ships were not available. This ended up bringing my shipping date forwards by about 10 days. Additionally, Mark explained to me that the car had to be dropped off at the docks 2 working days before it had to be shipped, and that the port was only open from Monday to Friday 8:30 to 5 PM. My original plan was to drop the car from the weekend before my car was set to depart on the Tuesday. Armed with this new information, I had to arrange to borrow a trailer to get the car to the docks on the Thursday beforehand. The day you drop your car off doesn't count towards that 2 days before. Your car needs to be in running condition and have about a quarter of a tank of fuel. I think the Rover was just under half a tank, which the docks are fine with. If your car doesn't run, it still can be shipped, however there are additional costs involved. We shipped our car on what's called a roll-on roll-off ferry, meaning unfortunately we couldn't ship any spares inside of the car. If you do want to ship a car with spare parts in it, then you're going to have to pack it into a container. However, that costs about 4 times as much, and the price depends on where you're shipping your car to. When you go to the port, make sure you have 2 printed copies of your paperwork, the original V5C for the vehicle, and you need to be wearing both high-vis clothing and steel toe cap boots. Unlike some countries though, in the UK you do not need any special qualifications or paperwork to enter a port, just a valid form of ID. A UK driving licence or passport is fine. Once you arrive at the berth in the port that you need to go to, the staff will then help direct you and explain what needs to be done. They will take some photos and check around the car for damage. In the case of the Rover, a single large X was placed across the entire car in the paperwork, and they will check where the battery is in case they have to jump start it. They will make sure that it starts off with a key, and they will also check the VIN number compared to the V5C. Finally, in our case, I had created a set of instructions on how to start the car due to the kill switch, and had also tied the kill switch to the ignition key with a length of string so it couldn't be lost. If there is anything unusual about your car, I would highly recommend doing this. The dock worker that dealt with me actually took some photos of these instructions, and interestingly enough, when I met back up with the car at the other end, they had actually made a photocopy of them and had taped them to the windscreen. Also, the dock worker who dealt with me made the comment that he'd get one of the younger lads to drive it onto ship, as in his words, he was too old and too fat to get over the roll gauge. I have to say the staff at Southampton Port were very helpful, and I think they all had a good laugh at the Lunar Rover sitting in their car park, which at the time was mainly filled with Bentleys, Range Rovers, Jags, and even a dozen or so McLarens. Overall, the process took about half an hour from the point of me entering the port to the point of me driving back out.
Well, that's it. You just see it there in the background, dropped off at the docks. Surprisingly quick and easy, actually. They let me get away with leaving some instructions inside the car, which is probably sensible because of the kill switch. I've just got to pack up the trailer and then we're back off to the Project Peddlers headquarters. I suppose the only question is, where is the car going? And that is going to have to wait till the final episode. For now though, after the thrash I've had for the last month, I need a break. So my next stop is Kyrgyzstan.